seems like every year I'm coming up with a New Year's resolution. And yet I'm never able to get it. I'm never able to reach that goal. When I was growing up, our family was famous for setting New Year's resolutions. Our favorite one, like everybody, is we want to get fit. We want to get into shape. We want to start working out. One year, my mom bought the family a home gym. It was about 10 by 10. It's got all the little different apparatuses. You do different workouts and exercises. And before you knew it, it was a $1,000 clothes hanger. It just collected dust. This year, I was thinking about New Year's resolutions again, and again, it popped up. I want to get fit. A few too many cheeseburgers on the road. I got to start losing some weight. But I'm worried about it. How do you actually make a New Year's goal, a resolution that you can achieve, that you know that you've done it? Well, I was at work the other week, and my friend Jake was there, and you could see that I was worried about something. Jake's about 5'9". He's got short brown hair. He's Canadian. So he gives that unique, pragmatic Canadian perspective on things. Craig, what's wrong? I can never get his Canadian accent right. But it's uniquely Jake. I said, Jake, I'm really worried about how do I get my goal this year. I want to get fit. He said, well, Craig, it's really simple. All you have to do is concentrate on 3 different things. First of all, your goal has to have, your New Year's resolution has to have some kind of benefit to it. You got to get something out of it. Well, duh, I wouldn't have made the resolution in the first place if I didn't want to get something out of it. Great, Jake. That's really helpful. Craig, the other thing that you have to do, the main reason why you are not successful is that it's got to be objective. It's got to be measurable. If you want to get out from your $1,000 clothes hanger and move into reaching your goal, you got to have something that you can measure that movement by, that you can see that you had some sort of progress. And the third thing that it has to do is it's got to be practical. You got to be able to do it. If you set the loftiest goal and it's so complicated and so difficult to achieve, it's not a great goal at all because you'll never achieve it. I said, Jake, that actually makes the most sense that I can think of. But I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I know what I want to do is beneficial. I'm going to lose weight. The other thing I'm going to do is I have no idea how I'm going to make it practical and objective. And Jake said, why don't you try Fitbit? Has anyone here heard of the Fitbit before? Mm-hmm. Their commercials are all over TV now. Fitbit, LifeBit, whatever bit. I can't remember. There's so many bits in the commercial. But you know that you should use Fitbit to get in shape. Jake's wife Laura is a doctor, and she loves statistics. According to Laura, one of the best objective measurements that I could use is how many steps you get in during the day. Did you know that the American Heart Association recommends that you get 10,000 steps per day? 10,000 steps is a lot of steps. At least it is for me, because when I'm typing on my computer at work, I'm not getting too many steps at the same time. But the Fitbit will allow you to measure that and see whether or not you're actually kind of reaching your goal, getting out from underneath just this ambiguous goal of getting into shape and having something to measure it with. The other thing is that the Fitbit is practical. How many of of us have a gym membership? How many of us has a gym membership that we never use? I do. The nice thing about the Fitbit, Jake told me, is that it goes with you anywhere you want. All you really need is your 2 feet. You don't need some fancy gym membership that you'll never use. You just strap your Fitbit onto your wrist, and your Fitbit will tell you how many steps you're doing, and it kind of makes you step more throughout the day so that you reach your goal. And the last thing is it's got to be measurable, so that not only is it beneficial and easy to do or practical, but it's measurable. And Jake told me, Craig, the greatest thing about the Fitbit is the Fitbit app. In case you haven't seen the Fitbit app, you probably still won't be able to see it because my phone is so small. But I can tell you what the Fitbit app tells you. It measures how many calories you burn throughout the day. It measures how many steps you've taken, what your heart rate is, how many activity minutes you have. You could break everything down just from this little piece of equipment, so that you move yourself from having some ambiguous New Year's Eve goal to something that you can achieve, something that's beneficial, objective, and practical. So if you're like me, and if you're thinking about making fitness one of your goals for the upcoming year, you may want to try the Fitbit. Mr. Toastmaster.
Craig, I'm sorry to do this, but I just got to let you know, I also have a Fitbit, and I just increased my daily goal from 10,000 steps to 10,250. So the race is on. Next up we have John with Citizen Trump.
Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I'm sure you all have seen Donald Trump in the news. He's leading in the Republican polls. I think he's getting 30% or more. And he has a chance to possibly be our next president. Well, today I'm going to tell you what I know about Donald Trump. I remember it was the late 70s, probably, sir, before you were born. It was late 70s, and my father came home. He said, that Donald Trump, he's unbelievable. What a jerk. My father worked for a small company in New Jersey, and one of Trump's hotels had gone bankrupt. And they were offering my father's company 10 cents in the dollar of what they owed. That's what bankrupt companies can do. They can renege on their debts. And so I'm sure a lot of you have heard that Donald Trump's casinos and hotels ended up going bankrupt 4 times. So think about it, 4 times the contractors weren't paid, and people got laid off. Maybe their lives were destroyed. So after that, New York also went through bankruptcy. The city of New York went bankrupt. But when cities or people go bankrupt, they often rise from the ashes. So New York came out of bankruptcy, and Donald Trump, he started rebuilding his career. And then in the 80s, or late 80s, what I started to see on TV, I started to see Donald Trump. He was writing books on how to make it in real estate. And real estate started getting stronger and stronger, until by the early 90s, it was like another bubble. But Trump was still writing his books on how to make it rich in real estate. Shortly after that, the market crashed. And I was like, wow, that Donald Trump, this guy, he must be a loser. My father told me, and it's true. He sold books to the public, and now the public's lost their money buying the books. And then, shortly after that, Trump started writing books on how to profit from real estate bankruptcies. And at that point, I was like, what kind of idiot would buy books from someone on how to profit from real estate? You lost your money listening to this guy's advice, and you're going to buy his books on how to make doesn't make sense. But then, Donald Trump, he did probably one of the best things he's ever, really the most successful thing he's really ever done. Does anyone know what that is? Well, you saw my speech. He started The Apprentice. The Apprentice television show, reality television. He rode that reality wave. And it really was the first, like I said, the first really blockbuster thing that Donald Trump ever did. He made a lot of money. He made a big name for himself. And it's really, that's the success that we know today. And from then, he started putting his buildings in different countries. They're probably all over the world now, but what he did learn a lesson. Instead of putting all his marbles in one basket, he would kind of sell his brand, manage the hotel, and maybe make a small, own 5% of the hotel. So he did learn a few things. But as far as Trump, the man, aside from his business mistakes, if we look at some of the things that he's done in the past few months, it kind of makes you wonder if this is the type of person that you would want as president. One of the things he's done, he's been caught on video making fun of a disabled person. Now, how would that make you feel if maybe your brother or sister or a cousin was disabled and the president, maybe a future president of the United States, was making fun of him? Would that make you feel good?
No.
Would you vote for that person?
No.
Probably not. He's also been on record as maybe sending back 10 million Mexicans or excluding all Muslims, maybe 2 billion people from coming to this country. My grandfather, he was from Palestine. Maybe some of you, your grandfathers or mothers are from other countries, and we all know what's made this country great is people from coming all over. People that I've met in my professional life, probably some of the hardest working people I know are people that come from other countries. Yet Donald Trump's idea is to build a wall around the country. And I know for a fact this will not make this country great. So I hope I've given you some food for thought for Donald Trump. And although he kind of knows what to say to attract a certain part of the population to possibly vote for him, I think when he's really put under a microscope and exposed, I think we'll get to know what the real Donald Trump is like. And hopefully we'll all make the right choice come the election time. Thank you.
All right, thank you, John. Next up, we have my speech, the wedding that I'll be performing in a few months. And are you operating the camera? I just want to ask if we can make the video private, because I don't want the couple. Well, actually, I don't think that's a setting on the camera. It's whoever uploads
Yeah.
it later.